Hello, welcome. This is Cassandra Williams from Educational Innovation 360. I'm very excited to have you here with me. So today we're really going to dive into your best self. We're really going to talk about you as a teacher and using S.E.L and equitable practices in the classroom. This presentation is for you to challenge yourself to do better. We have a couple of things. One, we have a Padlet link, so make sure you click the Padlet link and answer some of the questions that I have for you. And so what I want you to get out of this is, what can we do to improve what we're doing in the classroom? And how can we self-reflect to improve, to get better? And so that's pretty much all I ask from this presentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna start off by telling you a story. So there's a book that I love to read, and it's called The Souls of Black Folks, and it's by W.E.B. Du Bois. And he talks about this double consciousness of our Black, Indigenous people of color. So our students who we are working with, and sometimes a reflection of us. And it talks about, the way we look at oneself sometimes is through the eyes of others, right? There's one way of our perception of how we feel and how we walk into a room, but there's another perception that we see when we see you looking at us. So let me give you a clear example. So a lot of times at universities, professors, we like to exchange classes, and sometimes we like to co-teach and teach or take over a class. So one day I went into this history professor's class. Now it's a white male history professor, and he teaches, American history. And so I went in to teach one little small portion. And so the veil, right? I walk into the classroom with this I'm a proud African American professor. I taught this, I know this content, and I teach it. So I walk in, but then I look at the scowl on the faces of the white boys in the classroom. And the scowl, so the look on their face, the red turning, the perception is, who does this young Black Negro think she could tell me about American history, right? So that's the double consciousness and I encourage you to think of the layers that our students bring to the table and how sometimes it takes much more to get through that layer. And so when you're working with students that are Black, Indigenous people of color, it is very important that you understand that they're always looking at oneself through the eyes of others. And so make sure whatever you're in their space, it's safe. And yet, even only if they feel safe enough to let up the veil and allow you in, just so you can help them. And so we are always, as teachers, we are advocates, we're allies, and you are there to pretty much help them navigate the world. And so it's very important. And I say that because we are in their communities, and many times when we go into these schools, they're not our own community. I had a principal in North Carolina was telling me every year, this principal, he takes his teachers on a field trip. And the field trip is in the community that they serve. And when he took this school bus to this community that he served, some of the teachers wouldn't get off the bus, right? And so keep that in mind, our unconscious biases that we have, the perceptions that we have of communities and families, and we have to continuously check ourselves and support ourselves. I'll end it with one final story, and then I'll move on. I remember I was a principal leader at a school, and we brought the community to campus. I was so excited. We had the arts, the musician, spoken word. So this was their time to shine, right? From family members, everything in the community. And so one of the Black fathers walked up to, was walking from his car in the parking lot to the school. And right when the parent walked past this teacher's car, she hurried up and locked the door, right? And so automatically he looks over and hears the clicking sound of the teacher locking the doors, right? And so just that alone it was very difficult to build that father's trust and to let him know that we are there for his son when our teachers were afraid of the very community that they're serving. So keep that in mind when we're talking about SEL, social emotional learning. And I want you to actually know, and I want you to believe, like, our hopes and our dreams for our kids and our community that we serve, we have to continuously challenge ourselves and make sure that we're understanding that we're here for our students.